Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Let me know if you can hear me and see me clear enough. So, are you going to respond to me? Can you see and hear me good enough? Do I get a response? Going once, going twice, gone. All right. Have a nice day. I'll be seeing you next week since I don't hear anything back from you, or I'll talk to myself for a while and at least have my conscience cleared that I did have a live stream. There were no takers. Nobody had a problem or a question. Hence, all good. Omar is here. Says, hello, Miran. He says, yes, we can see and hear. Wonderful. Excellent. The good old days when I was able to travel and go to this heavenly place, my favorite place on earth, Hawaii. And there is what's called Black Rock. Not that damn Black Rock that is ruining the world. This is just called Black Rock because the rock was black. And Tag is here, says, hello, Miran. 29 male from India. Thank you for that. Experiencing HOCD for a while. I just want to know how to go about it. And it's severe with sensation and it feels real. Yeah, that's what HOCD does. It always feels real. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called disorder. It wouldn't be called what it is, HOCD. It's like saying, I have a cold and it feels so real. It is, but it's a cold. It's not you. It's a cold that feels real. Understand what I'm saying? It is the cold that naturally feels real because it's a cold. It's not you that feel what the cold feels. It's not you, your awareness, your center, your whole of you, who you are, what you've always been, that is now turned into something or feels the cold. You feel the cold because you have a cold. That's all. Not that because you have a cold, you have now no longer a human being. You are a cold, you're a virus. Understand what I'm saying? So when you have an HOCD, like anything else that we might catch or get or have a glitch of or a malfunction or disorder, we feel that what the disorder is. So you will feel HOCD as real because it's real. It's HOCD. You're not what HOCD feels or suggests or promotes. That's not real. The HOCD, the fact that it makes you feel what you feel, is what HOCD does. In that sense, is real. Just like a cold feels real. Hmm? Just like when your knee hurts, you bang it to the wall, it hurts and it feels real because it hit the wall. But it's not change your knee to something that is going to be feeling like that naturally. It has a reason that feels that because you hit it to the wall. You have a reason. There's a reason that you feel this being real because you have HOCD. There's a reason for you to want to go to the bathroom so often because you have diarrhea and it feels real because it's real because it's diarrhea. So you're not supposed to be focusing why it feels real because everything that happens to us feels real because that one thing, whatever it causes us to feel, whatever we feel, is real, is a phenomena, right? Is a disorder, is diarrhea, is knee to the wall, is headache, is cold. But that's what it is. So you're supposed to now find how to understand, educate, remedy, and rewire this glitch, help the cold to be healed, help the need to be taken care of, so it will revert back to how it feels according to your preference and how it originally was designed for you. Capiche? Verstehen Sie? Poznajete? Do you understand? Mi. Comprend? Comprehende? So, that's it. So, what's the surprise? What's the panic? Just like anything else. You got diarrhea, you got to figure out what to do. It'll all be okay. In the meantime, while it's okay, you're going to be feeling diarrhea, cold, knee hurt to the wall. These things are going to feel that way. But focus on the fact that it feels real. So that means I am it. No, everything feels real. Ouch, feels real. So that means I am now having a head that will always hurt. If it hurts because I hit it, that feels real. But it hasn't changed the idea that my head is not normally feels hurt or pain. When I know that this hand's supposed to be away from hitting my head. So there's certain things, I hope you get the humor in this. So there are certain things that you got to do, you got to learn, you got to educate yourself about what OCD is, the roots of it, what HOCD as a subset of OCD is, how to rewire your brain, how to use the teachings of Dr. Philipson, Dr. Schwartz, Dr. Jan Vayner, and how to learn the 4 steps of Dr. Schwartz, which is about rewiring the brain through certain steps when an OCD glitch comes up, which includes HOCD and other OCD subsets, and then you regain. But you got to be resilient. You got to protect your values. You got to stick your grounds. You got to do what you got to do to protect and bring yourself back to what you prefer, what you've always been, what you want to be, what you've always been designed to be. Got to protect what we have. Not with the first wind that blows and the tree bends this way. Oh, now my tree should be looking this way. No, it's the wind. Put barriers, the tree comes back to where it always was because its roots are designed for it to be going straight up. So you help it. If the earth underneath it is moved a little bit, you you fix it, you put harness around it, you stabilize it, and the tree will do its job. That's all. So watch the videos that I have on this channel, hundreds. Just type in OCD or HOCD and you'll see many videos, and choose them according to the label or the title. All right. Okay, lol is here. Says hi, 22 from USA. 22 what? 22 gauge caliber of a gun? Or what is it? Is it bore in the barrel? Male, female? So 22 from USA for a while has my HOCD has gotten better. However, the only step back is when I wake up in the morning where I feel attraction and feelings to my thoughts. What can I do? Nothing. Understand that these are attraction and feelings to the thoughts. And thoughts comes from the brain, and brain has a power to make the body react to a thought. That's part of the power of the brain. But because the brain has the power to affect the body to react in a certain way to a certain suggestion, thought, or an image, that doesn't mean that thought is about you or you have become the thought or that thought has a credibility or is correct about you. It's just a natural power of the brain to make the body react to a thought that it conjures up. But that thought that the brain conjures up is irrelevant and meaningless to you because it's contrary to your values and to your preferences and choices. It doesn't matter what thought shows up in your head. What matters is that we human beings live with our vetoes and choices, not what shows up as a suggestion, image, or thought. It is like saying when you're walking in the street and people suggest, or introduce anything, you're supposed to do them, or say anything about you, then that's what you are because they said so. No. You hear it and it's irrelevant, you move on. That's the fact. But if you treat the brain as you, then you're in trouble because you have to understand that this brain is not you. You're not the brain. It's like saying your liver is you. It's an organ, is part of the apparatuses that is necessary for the proper function or for facilitating what you want to achieve in this life. You gotta have a kidney, you gotta have a liver, intestine, heart, brain. All of these facilitate your livelihood. But these are mechanical machines. They're organs. They're not you. You are the awareness that knows that you have a liver, you have a kidney, you have a heart, you have a brain, that you are aware of a thought showing up. Then you judge the thought. You're above the brain's function and mandate and the program. Every organ in our body has a job to do. The kidney filters your blood. The liver detoxifies the stuff that you get ingested, comes your system. Brain makes thoughts, but it's not your smarts. It's not your intellect. Dr. Speary and Dr. Penfield, Dr. Owen, Dr. Libet, brilliant neuroscientists and neurosurgeons, through their history, through their career, they have done thousands of experiences on brain. And Dr. Speary and Dr. Penfield, surgeons, they've done surgery on brain. And usually when they do the surgery, because the brain doesn't have any nerves, The patient is awake by anesthesia. They go into the skull. Once they're through the skull, the brain itself doesn't have a nervous system to feel the pain. Therefore, they were able to cooperate with the surgeons to help study what's happening in the brain. The surgeons were able to stimulate parts of the brain to create maybe a hand movement, or occipital point was stimulated, and there's some kind of a light and eyesight was stimulated. Some parts was able to create a motoring, like the limb was moving, or a sound speech center. So they could localize a speech center, they could localize eye center, sight center, they could localize mobility center, but they could never localize intellect center, math center, compassionate center, hmm, love center. They could not localize intelligence center. hmm. So the brain is not intellect and it's not intelligent, it's a machine. And that machine is part of the stuff that you have somehow, universe, nature, God, whatever you want to call it, have bestowed upon you for facilitating your livelihood. And therefore, you cannot consider what comes out of the brain as part of its job to make thoughts are credible. You're supposed to judge it. Your awareness, which is aware of the function of all these things in your body, will have the choice to gauge the quality of this that has been uttered by the brain or suggested by the brain. Is it useful for me? Is it meaningless to me? Is it something I should pay attention to or let it die by the wayside? You are beyond the brain. There are aspects of you and the mind that the brain cannot reach. This is what Aristotle talked about 1,000 years ago, and the modern science now has been able to prove it beyond the shadow of the doubt that you're not the brain, brain is not you, and that there are aspects of you and the mind that the brain cannot even reach. But you, as the awareness, can judge what the brain utters to see if it's useful to you, if it's in line to your values or not. That's how you help yourself, using the teachings of Dr. Schwartz and other experts in the business to learn how to rewire your brain. And remember, the brain that you're counting on and you're being bamboozled by so much these days in different ways, that's why we have so many mental issues among the people around the world, which the biggest mental issue is now what the Prime Minister of Canada and France, Macron, and the asshole Klaus Schwab and the Gates and all these things are having mental fucked upness, which are they're actually fucking up the world with all these plans to harm people. So mental issues are not limited to one or two people. It's all over. Why? Because brain is an apparatus that goes through malfunctions and disorders. And this brain that we now have and so much trouble we endure in different ways and shapes or form, we didn't have this 40,000 years ago. 40,000 years ago, human being was just like what it was, a little bit more developed since millions of years ago. Was living like an animal, everything instinctive. That's why we didn't have much problems. We would run, hunt, sleep, have sex, and everything was clear. Our sexuality was not in question because there was no brain that could think or speak to give meanings to words and to take suggestions and become doubtful and have glitches in the function of the brain. Everything was instinctive. And because we weren't able to think or speak, we had no problems. There were no mental problems the way we have it today. Why? Because there were no thoughts. Because thoughts are the roots of all problems. All these HOCD, OCD, these are all thought-based problems, not biological problems. These are psychological problems. And we didn't have these problems when we didn't have this brain. 40,000 years ago, we were just living like everything was clear, day and night. Your sexuality was clear, you had no doubt. Why? Because you had no thinking and judgment about it. You were what you were. and you were living your life as needed. Sleep, eat, run, hunt, have sex, go on about whatever you were doing. All these started since 40,000 years ago, the glitches, the malfunctions, and so on and so forth. But now, modern science have been able to clearly specify what components of the brain are involved in these malfunctions and what to do and how to rewire and bring it back to its normal setting, factory setting, default setting. And that's what you should follow. Educate yourself and learn how to rewire your brain through neuroplasticity. And Dr. Schwartz's fourth step talks about how you can rewire your brain because of OCD and so on. And you can help yourself by gradually becoming aware of the fact that any organ in our body can have a glitch and malfunction. And in our brain, OCD and OCD subset and HOCD, one of the OCD subsets, it's one of those malfunctions, disorders. That's it. And there's so much information on this channel about HOCD and the components of the brain that are involved and how you can help yourself and understand, analyze, interpret, and so on to go on and get back your normal and balanced self. All right. Alexander Ored is here. Says, hello, Mehran. How are you? Hello, everyone. Thank you for that, Alexander. And Alex says, male 35. And where, Alexander, remind us, where are you located? Male 35 says, my brain send me to count things and ruminate. How can I break this cycle? I used to count all the telephone poles when we were traveling. Let's say my father was driving and we were all traveling, I don't know, to Caspian Sea or wherever it was. And then later on in life, I had this urge to count the aircrafts. If there's an air show, I had to count them. I had to count everything. Because it's like you're completing an information awareness of information that was given to you. So the number of airplanes show up in the sky. There's a tendency of thinking that I should be aware of how many. For what reason, God knows. But somehow I got to pay attention to that information thoroughly as a perfectionist. I got to know how many telephone posts or light posts are alongside of the road. In the old times, you had all these poles. You didn't have underground poles or all the other way technology that we have today. So I would count them. It's a cumbersome work because the bloody thing wouldn't end. So these are just glitches that you think comes from perfectionism, that you want to do everything so perfect, know about everything. It's a pain in the ass. So you just simply drop it. See what happens if you don't. Or there must be a consequence that you're doing this. You think maybe somebody dies if I don't count it or ruminate. Maybe some loved one will something happen to them. Well, take a risk, meaning have faith in the universe and don't buy into that bullshit. Don't let anything control your brain. Not a human being, no drinks, no drugs, no nothing that controls your brain. Do not allow anything to be controlling of you, including the fucking governments around the world. So, meaning that you must understand that perfectionism is the roots of all these OCDs, many of the OCDs and OCD subsets, because we consider ourselves the best of the best. We got to know everything. We got to protect everything. We got to protect our loved ones. We got to do whatever we can to protect them. And somehow, because we don't know how, we kind of have this barter deal with some watcher, observer that is watching our lives. And we want to protect our loved ones. So we create this kind of a system that if I touch the light switch 50 million times, then everything would be balanced and no harm will come to my loved ones. If I count all these things and ruminate about these, try to fix things that already happened, but I didn't like the way the things went. So I'm going into my memory, trying to reshape the history or change it, because that would be a better way of handling things, which I couldn't do it at the time. These are all coming from perfectionism and trying to protect It's like a responsibility OCD, trying to protect everybody. So these are all just simply things that your brain is getting you involved and really has no power, no nothing. But you have somehow believed it. There's a realist part of the realist of the brain plus the gene called VMAT2, and the neurotransmitters involved that brings about believability, like religiosity has to do with this gene and the realist of the neurons and the neurotransmitters, so on. Somehow we end up believing something. Once we believe something, we don't need any reasoning. And that's the problem. That you should be aware of, why am I believing this if there's no real solid evidence about, like, that's not going to do anything if I touch that light switch 50 million times. Whether I do it or not, nothing's going to happen to my dad. So have faith in the universe and just say, okay, I'm not going to ruminate. I'm not going to count these things. I'm just going to see what's going to happen. And don't attribute anything bad happens to the fact that, oh, I didn't ruminate, I didn't count, that's why it happens, so I should do it. No. Few days pass, you'll see nothing changed. Everything that wanted to go wrong went wrong because you didn't do the right thing. Everything that didn't want to go wrong didn't go wrong because you just did the right thing. It had nothing to do with ruminating or counting shit here and there. You got to prove to yourself that none of these works. I had the worst case. I would wash my hands, God knows how many times, check the oven so many times, touch the light switch, just to make sure nothing happens to my father, to my mother, to my loved ones. But then I realized, if that was the case, universe was such a weak ass place anyhow. If that was the case, and if that's the case, the reverse of it should work too. That means if I want something good to happen, I have $1 million in the bank, then just as I would touch the light switch 50 million times and nothing bad supposedly happens to my loved ones, then I should also be able to create $1 million in my bank if I touch that so many times. Create that fictitious belief, right? Or pass my exams if I do certain things. No, unless I studied, I won't. But doing a study and then touching that, it's just, what is it called? Superstitious, that's all. Out of need for psychological security. And security has been what we've always been after. Physical security and psychological security. Physical security, we get it through safe physical environment. Psychological security, we don't know how. That's why we revert to all these bullshit. Touch this 50 times. Drink this more than one gulp that you need. Few times. Put this on the ground, on the table 3 times. Have things lined up on the table just to make sure. These are all glitches of the brain trying to create that psychological security that is never attainable because there is no certainty in this life. But we're seeking that certainty. That's why we're doing all kind of crazy things to create that certainty. But you got to be able to live with uncertainty. Then everything is under your command because you don't give a shit. You just do what you got to do, the best you can do. Whenever you got to do, you're responsible to do this, whatever it's concerned, whatever is necessary, then you get the results you're looking for. But you will not bow down to the fact that I got to do all these crazy things in order to make things happen. No, they won't happen just like that. It doesn't matter how many things I line up or touch the wall and all that. It's just seeking that certainty. And I got to be able to live in uncertainty because the whole thing, we are living in an uncertain world and we are okay with it. Look, ever since you were born, you really didn't know where the, lunch going to come because you couldn't think for a year or two anyhow. But lunch was available. Food was available somehow. It was all uncertainty, but you weren't focusing on what's certain, what's uncertain. You were just instinctively living and doing whatever it was, you were supposed to do. Food would arrive, clothing would arrive, all uncertain, but you weren't thinking about it, so you weren't conscious about it. When you got older, you saw the need and the usefulness of all these things that you took for granted and you had it. So you start thinking and worrying about, what if I don't have it? Because in psychology of our psyche, whatever we love and we need, we worry about not having it. When we don't know what we need, what we have, and what we should have, then we won't be worrying about anything because we are not thinking about what we need. But when you grow up and you know what things are good and pleasant and bring comfort and you want to have them, then you start, the brain plays the protectiveness or keeping you alert for making all the efforts you can to have it, and then puts a fear into your heart that what if you don't have it? So you start being fearful of what you think you should have, what you want to have, and what if I don't have it? That fear starts when you get older and you realize that you need these things. Until you're not thinking about the need, you don't have a fear of losing. Anything you love in life, there is a fear of losing it. You love your car, feel of being stolen or scratched. You love your girlfriend, you fear of she leaving you. Love your money, fear of losing it or being taken away. Everything you love, there is a natural feeling of fear of losing it. Same thing, you love your sexuality, you love who you are. So again, the brain goes to work and goes and attacks it, increase the fear of what if you're not what you've always been loved to be, and so on. And then it leads to that certainty and psychological security and perfectionism, and the OCD hits and OCD substance and the HOCD and all the other kinds of it. It's all just a malfunction of the brain. If you understand that, then you become okay with the uncertainty. You won't seek certainty. You don't give a fuck if the type of suggestions or images or thoughts of some sexuality other than what you prefer, what you are, what you've always been shows up, and you will be just fine because you don't care about any of these suggestions or thoughts on images, whatnot, and glitches of the brain. All you care about is your power to veto and choose whatever it is, thoughts, suggestions, friendship, offerings, whatever it is. You have the ultimate power of choosing or vetoing. That's how you roll in life. Not about, oh, it has to be the way that I would be sure it is the way it is, that it's suitable to me. No, I don't care what it is because I have the power to choose. And if it's not suitable in line with my values, I won't choose. I veto and I go on. So, whatever thought, images, feelings that the brain makes the body feel, and that makes me, oh, wow, my body felt something. Well, that's the power of the brain. It can make the body feel. But the fact that your body feels something that the brain suggested, it doesn't give credibility that the thought was correct, because brain has the power to make the body react to some thought. And when it does react to some thought, that reaction of the body is not an evidence that the thought about you that was created by the brain has any credibility or it's correct. That I have now changed because it was suggested and my body felt something. I have the arousal. No, none of that. The brain can make that things happen because of a thought. But that activity, that actuality of a feeling of the body created by the body is not an evidence of credibility to the thought that was created by the brain. Don't fall for these things. These are all glitches of the brain. So live with your vetoes and choices, and you don't give a shit what shows up in your head or not. Whatever shows up has no power to bring anything to actuality. Only you, your awareness, has the power to choose or veto and go about your business, whatever the thought, image, or suggestion may be by the brain. No different than other people suggest anything in the street to you. You accept or you don't accept. You veto or you don't. You choose or you veto. Same thing. Brain is just a third entity. It's not you. You're not the brain. So you don't have to listen to it. You have the ultimate power. All right. Having said all that, Nihal Raj. Nihal Raj says, hi, you helped me get over my ex better. Thank you so much. But she's still my friend, and I hope that she will be back. 99% I know that we won't be together. But that 1% gives me hope. Why? Why do you need that 1% hope? What is she? What is she so important to you if 99% of her and your feelings that she's not coming to you? Why would you want someone that 99% may not want to be with you? Have some respect for yourself. Spend your time on the one that is 99% wants to be with you and 1% may not. Not the other way around. It's your life. You want to waste it on someone by making her God? Go ahead. But in fact, you're in love with your desire. It's not her that you're in love with. You're in love to fulfill and serve your desire, your ego. Otherwise, same thing you gain from her communication, love, sex, emotions you can gain it from another woman just as good, if not better. But should you release yourself first from this and focus on those other opportunities? Otherwise, no. You will be constantly program yourself, condition yourself, turn it into a habit that this is the only one. And once you believe that, then you'll be glitched and locked and you can't even move on because you will be at the mercy of her. And the more you are feeling that way, the more she'd feel stronger and least interested in you, to the point that she'll start shitting on your head and you start just saying, "Can I have some more?" Why? Because you believed that this is the only one, which is bullshit. She gets up in the morning, she shits, and she needs food and she gets hungry. She's no God. But what you have is that desire for pleasure and to conquering. So you're in love with your own desire for pleasing through pleasure. That's all. She's no anomaly in this life. Don't make her one. Once you make her anomaly and you have created that, you believe in that, you're locked in your own bullshit. A false god. Don't. So, you want to be friend with her? Be, but it's wasting your time. If she hasn't shown you, she will not have respect. No woman will come to you if you're sucking up to her shoes. I'm not saying be rude or bad, but I'm saying if you suck up to a woman's shoes, the woman will not come to you because she doesn't respect you. Because women are like any other human being. They have their own shortcomings. They don't believe in themselves as much as we think they do. It is our desire and attraction towards them that makes them feel so incredibly confident. They're not. They're just like you. Fear of their future. But they are looking for a confidence level that they can hang on to and feel safe and confident. When you become so weak to be at their feet, they say, I don't think I'm that hot or that confident in my life or where I'm going in life. Why is this guy so hot on me? I know I'm not much. So if he really likes me so much, and I know I'm not that much, then he's probably not much himself. And if he's not much, I don't want him. So you got to have that confidence and live your life, build your life, and then she will see it, if this one or not, some other ones, and they will be attracted to you because of your confidence in life, direction in life, hmm? Commitment to life. Not that, oh, you're everything I ever wanted. So really, I don't think I've accomplished anything, but that's all you want in this life? What the fucking kind of a philosophy do you have? Where are you going to go in this life? You take me and then you got everything? I don't think I'm offering much. That's how they think of themselves. So don't create a false god. Okay? That's all I'm saying. All right. By the way, I don't know how long this our session will last because there's a glitch in my membership in StreamYard, and it might have reverted back to a normal membership, which would mean limited live stream minutes. So if we are caught off at 40 minutes, which is pretty much soon enough, then I will restart another one. You can rejoin right away because somehow that glitch hasn't been fixed yet. So it might happen. If it did, if we get caught off, I'll just restart another session because this I can have many sessions, but 40 minutes each, I guess. Not like other weeks that we could go for hours until it's fixed. I think by next week it's fixed. So Salu Barry says, hello, sir. I'm 28 from Minnesota. I love your perspective in life. It is very uplifting and positive. Thank you for that, Salu. Appreciate that. Ed Clark says, hi, Mehran. I bought a book called You're Not Your Brain and Can't Remember if it was you who recommended it. I'm sure I was. It's Dr. Schwartz, right? If you did, thank you. It's great. Wise Advocate. Yes, Wise Advocate. That's Dr. Schwartz's book. It's great. Read it, enjoy it. Actually, there is a video of part of the book that he's describing in a presentation in Australia. I love that bit. It's like about 45 minutes or so. It's very enjoyable. I mean, you learn a lot from it. Omar Rashid says, very interesting, Mehran, the issue of the hyperactive brain, restless, intrusive thoughts, etc., reminds me of the Buddhist traditions and in particular, perhaps, of the need to quiet the brain. Yeah, but you see, it's all about habit, creating a routine and habit. Like you become very good in tennis if you keep playing it. You become very good in piano if you keep playing it. If you become very good in soccer if you keep playing it, or math, if you constantly, it becomes a second nature to you rather than making an effort because you've done it so much. And through creating these repetitious movements of practicing, the neuroplasticity takes over. The bridges between the synaptic neurons are built, and the more of them the more you do something, the more bridges are built between the two synaptic neurons, passing neurotransmitters and informations to become really good at what it is that you're practicing, right? So when you where were we? I lost you. Yeah, well, yeah. So when you create that habit of bringing the ripples of the waves of the brain down by meditating, then that would become a default state of your brain rather than constantly running to different topics and focusing on different things to create a residency for it. So you see, brain doesn't have a physical form, thoughts and disturbance and the activities in the brain doesn't have a physical form to choose a housing, a point in the body to rest, to find it, to hang his hat. So the brain's activities are always trying to find a topic to hang themselves, attach themselves to it, to be busy on that topic, to create that place of residency. Otherwise, they don't have any place unless you teach it. Excuse me, which is that another topic for another time. But we've had a video on that. That where the brain's activities, thoughts, waves can focus in the body, so you create mind and body coordination. And when that happens, when mind and body both are concentrated on the same place, physical place in the body, then this is what's going to happen. I'm going to show you this and we'll be right back. It's part of my discussion right now with you. This is what happens when mind and body both are focused on the same point in the physical expression of our existence, because we are in at least two ways, mind and body. Body's weight and center of gravity is focused on one point in our existence, in physical existence. And that one point is about 10, 20 centimeters below the navel. We're considering ourselves sitting on our knees on the ground. So that would be the center of gravity. And when in judo and other martial arts, again, that's the center of gravity where you can also focus and bring yourself most stable. Now, when actually on top of the weight of our mass, focusing on that point, hypothetical point in lower part of the navel, when the brain also, thought is also focused there, then we manifest our total power, which is beyond the rules of physics in this earth, on this planet. This is how it's going to look like, and I'll be right back with you when you watch this. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.
But we too, like the iceberg, have 1,000 times bigger powers that is not visible, and we must. Why? Is it something we're rambling on and I expect you to accept it? Or is there actually another power within us? Would you come and help me out? Okay. What I want you to do is put your hands underneath my arms and just lift me up. There we go. Okay, now, that's my physical part, right? Same thing. Again, with that. Just want to see if there's any difference. Go ahead. Now, go ahead. Now, this, go ahead when you're ready.
Go ahead.
So you see, this is different than what he was doing, and I'm not really doing anything. You convinced?
Yeah.
So are you guys convinced that there is something other than, thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank you very much.
Okay, so where was I with this? I forgot. um, yeah, so when mind and body both are focused on the same point, then the amazing things happens. That's when we actually have unification of our existence in both parts, mind and body, the energy and the physical part of our entity, which is a sort of a vessel where the energy is actually be able to pass through it and keep it functioning. So this is why it's very important for you to meditate, to create that balance and coordination and make that a default, that's relaxation, calmness, reducing the waves of the activities of the brain into a default setting. So you will always revert back to that natural calm state rather than constantly the brain, in order to find a housing and a place to hang his hat or focus or have a place to exist, because it doesn't know uh, how to find a place in the body to exist, to relax. It finds elements, it finds topics, it finds thoughts. It's constantly creating activity through busyness to feel it belongs and it exists. Because the brain thought wants to exist. And in order to do that, it's constantly attaching itself to some topics. And that creates agitation, not relaxation. So you need to condition the brain through continuous training of meditation, through neuroplasticity, create an atmosphere for it, create a default state of being for it, to be in the body at the one point at your command to do things for you, rather than being like a gypsy all around trying to find different topics and create thoughts and be so active in order to feel it exists and it's alive and it belongs to a place, because it doesn't have a place. That's why it's always in. It's like a hobo that doesn't have a home. He's just going to the beaches and everywhere and any street and walks around because it doesn't have a home to stay one place. But when you give the brain a home, when you give the hobo a home, it will eventually settle down and stop moving. And if you train the brain to learn how to relax, then it doesn't, and have a place to call home, that's where it can relax, then it wouldn't have to be running around looking for different topics and allowing any kind of interesting or curious or questionable topics just in order to create activity, to feel through activity it has a place. Because unless it has activity, it has no existence. And it wants to have existence. So it creates activity by thinking about anything that creates even more rise in your head as far as curiosity, argument, and creates um, uh, defying topics and defying points of views. So your awareness will find it not in line with your values, and you rise above it, you try to defend it and argue it. And the argument between your awareness, you, and the brain's thoughts is what keeps the brain feel, I am now having a place, an activity, and security, and I exist. Well, once you teach the brain to settle down, then it will learn where to settle down, and it doesn't have to travel around, stick itself to topics that are not interesting and irrelevant to you, just to create that buzz and that fuzz and that fight, to create an energy that in that energy it finds itself as if it's alive. So you got to create the condition of calmness by teaching it and training it through meditation. So its default setting would be like a horse that is saddled up and ready for you to jump on it, go wherever you want it to go, rather than running around just trying to do whatever it has according to its own creation of thoughts. So you harness, you teach, you train your brain. Like there was a game for children a long time ago, Pokemons. You had to train the Pokemon. So the brain is the same. It's not intellect. It doesn't know what the hell to do. It's scared as shit because it wants to exist and it doesn't know where, how, where's my home. So you teach it home. Home is here by meditation, and then it will stop being overactive in order to hang itself to something to feel safe. Because brain finds security through occupation, through busyness. It doesn't know any other way unless you teach it. And that can be done through meditation and mind and body coordination, and teaching it to focus on the one point where the weight of the body is focused, and that's where it stays. And there is a movement in there, which I've explained in the meditation videos, that the brain gets involved and relaxes and stays and finds that to be his home without having to run around and be creating all kinds of thoughts all day long. All right. Ed says, press that like button. Yes, please do. My goodness, there's only 6 people. We lost everyone, didn't we? And Kokyo says, meh, Ron, you are the best. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Please let other millions of people around the world know so our channel can survive. We're a dying breed. Kokyo says, I just wanted her back cause in my mind she is mine. That's messed up. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Because you know what? You'd be surprised. She's not the only one you think is yours. Almost all pretty girls and the girls that meet your standards or basic standards, you want them. You think they're all yours. So just choose another one. Doesn't matter. You want them all anyhow. Aman says male, 21 male, India. Thank you for that. Aman says the girl I told you about who rejected my proposal, but she's loner and I feel like she miss our talks. I feel like to ask her for go out, but her friend keep taking her out. I'm worried if I take her out, then she'll be bored with me. Oh, if that's what you think, that's going to be how it's going to be. Why would you think she's going to be bored with you? Just don't try to entertain her. Let her entertain herself, entertain you, and you entertain her. Just be yourself. You're under too much pressure to be accepted. If they like you, they like you. They don't like you, the hell with them. Fuck it. Next. You can't be a clown constantly trying to provide entertainment just to like you. No, stop giving all these brownies to all these favors just for them to like you. If they like you, they like you. They don't like you, next. I'm sure there are many, many women who like you, but you just got to give it time and go through enough acquaintances to find the right ones. And I said the right ones, not the right one. There are many. There are many. All right. And Oliver Carter has sent us a super sticker for $2 for the channel. And thank you for your generosity, helping the channel to advertise and so on. All right. So looks like we have answered all the all the questions, and we don't have any more. And it's been an hour, so perhaps if we don't have any more, then I can maybe call it a day. We just gained another viewer. Roller Girl. Oh my goodness, you have not been around for a long time, Roller Girl. If I remember, you are in states somewhere, maybe even Texas. Am I right? Am I so far? Or are you mid-US? That's what I recall. Las Vegas. There you go. That's a gambling girl. No. And I think you said you're like 40 something, 45? Am I remembering it right? Or close to that? Possibly 50? It's been a long time. You have been not favoring us with your presence. All right. So, we gained. We're gaining, guys. We're gaining. Salu says, my wife gave birth to a boy. Congratulations. Congratulations. 2 days ago, I called her on video and asked her to send me the pictures. She started making excuses about her from being on 8%. I got mad and yelled a little bit. I don't understand. Where are you and where is she? Why you guys are not together? Roller Girl says 58 in June. Thankfully, not a gambler. Okay, yeah, me too. Good for you. Nice to see you, sir, and everyone. Good to have you here with us, Roller Girl. And I appreciate you taking the time and joining us. And Sally says she made everyone believe I'm a problem in her family. Okay, so I don't understand. So you guys are divorced, separate? Because you just said your wife gave birth to your boy. I'm a little bit confused. Or maybe because so many questions, I don't remember. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I see. Now I see your question. Oh, there are a bunch of things that I've missed here. There's Omar Rashid says, very interesting, Mehran. The issue of the hyperactive brain, restless, intrusive thoughts, etc., reminds me of the Buddhist transition Zen, in particular, perhaps of the need to quiet the. Oh, we did read this, didn't we? All right. So, yeah, I did. I now read it, Salu, but it's not enough information to know What is the situation between you two? Are you guys still married? You divorced? You separated? Why you're not together in the same city? What's going on? So anyhow, guys, you all know that there are certain things we can discuss about it here, and but I can't let it turn into a one-on-one because everybody has some questions. We have limited time here, so if you guys wanted to a detailed conversation in regards to your issues, remember I have a site called www.mindthatseekstruth.com, where you can make an appointment with me for Skype chat and we'll discuss what's concerning you one on one on Skype. Um, Sally says, I'm in Minnesota. She isn't going to Guinea, Africa. Like, did I say it correctly? Okay. Why is she going there? Why are you guys not together? Are you divorced? Are you getting divorced? What's going on? Obviously, you just have a child. What is she doing? Oliver Carter sends us a $5 super chat. Says, I'm going to send an email with advice for the channel later on. I'm a frequent viewer and would like to help the channel grow for free, obviously. Okay, well, that's a that's an offer I can't refuse, and that's what Michael Corleone in the Godfather movies, or was it Don Corleone? Was it make him an offer he can't refuse? So that's an offer I can't refuse, and I welcome the opportunity to see how you can kindly help the channel to grow. And I would welcome the all good suggestions and a good help, and I thank you for that, and thank you for the helping the channel for your super chat. And so, Salu, I'm still not clear what it is that we could discuss as far as so little information, and that's not going to be helpful for me to just guess things out. It needs and perhaps you may go on my site, mind@6truth.com, make an appointment for a Skype consultation, and we'll discuss what's concerning in regards to your relationship one-on-one on Skype. Because you guys know that there's certain things I can discuss here for a few minutes, but when it needs interactive dialogue and more detail, well, we need a couple of hours to talk about it. So hopefully that would be something you will choose to do. Salut. Well, guys, it looks like that we have hit the bottom of the pot. There's no more rice in it. To it's the expression. So this is the time I say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here and giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. And Oliver says before I end it, says, "Lol, excellent taste in movies." Uh, Thank you for helping to heal me during a time when I thought the world couldn't continue without her. Much love from Los Angeles, California. Thank you very much, Oliver. Very kind of you. Gracious and generous gift. At the same time, the offer to help the channel is welcomed. And for sure, I look forward to get your email. So, guys, and Roller says, nice to find you in my feed just now. Well, yeah, I'm glad that somebody find me in my feed. I don't know if this YouTube actually does send feed about my live streams and videos or not, because honestly, I can't believe that we have only so little show of interest, while we know that we are helpful in many topics, including breakups, relationships, thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, OCD, subsets of OCD, and so on, intrusive thoughts, and so on. Again, thank you very much for everyone who pays attention to our channel and helps us to grow. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel,
and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind-that-seeks-truth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.